Hello, we're back for part 2, or however I decided to cut this up for YouTube, assuming that's what I end up doing. It's part 2 of the 2.0 of Unreborn main story quest. We are stuck in the island camera. There we go. We're level 14. We are in Horizon, and my first task is to carry on with the story. Dadenham would like you to deliver a message to Copperbell Mines. We'll be going back there for an instance at some point. But yes, Copperbell Mines. It so happens that I have a situation that must be resolved post-haste, and I do mean post-haste. I'm plumb out of my premium product, and my latest order has yet to arrive. If I keep my customers waiting any longer, this could irrevocably damage my reputation. What's worse, I paid my man in advance for his services. Despite his assurances that it would be a simple affair, I've heard nothing since he departed for Copperbell Mines days ago. Find Drunken Stag and give him this notice. I cannot afford any further delay. Pretty view of Uldar in the background. Right, so we're on our way to the Copperbell Mines, which is over here. You previously have had to unlock this area of the map, but it's got the whole thing. And Drunken Stag and Torrid Whisper are having a little chit-chat out here. And there is a reason for this. What do you want, Dadenham's product? A firmly worded reminder of delivery. He can send all the notices he likes, but it won't change a thing. The concern has closed the mines due to some incident in the depths. It's a goddamn shame too. Lost a decent haul just over yonder during all the chaos. So something has happened down below. Drunken Stag needs someone to retrieve the raw nashosite. Nashosite, I would imagine. He dropped outside the mines. The product you heard Dadenham going on about is valuable gemstone and raw nashonites. Managed to dig up a goodly amount just before the mines were closed off, actually. Packed it up and hauled it out even, but then them 12 damn goblins came along. Not like any goblins I've seen before, and hungry only for the good rocks. They had eyes for my gemstones, so I had no choice but to oblige. Stone torches had their hands full evacuating the mines, so they ignored the beasts. Even now, they're only concerned with keeping people out. Please, friend, if you're willing to face the goblins, would you bring me my nashosite? What's this guy want? Oh, he wants his mining tools. Adventurer, please, a moment if you would. Do you mean to go into the mines? Yes, technically. I fled for my life when the goblins came, and only now I realise that I left my tools behind. Please, you must retrieve them for me. My sharpened pickaxe, old hammer, and heavy sledgehammer. Without them, my life is as good as over. I'm not normally going to do the side quest, but since these both happen to be in the same place, it's nice and easy XP to do. Purple smoke means hostile presences. Oops. There's his pickaxe. There don't tend to be enemies spawned from stuff like that. It needs its purpley smoke. Two chunks. I was going to say there's actually still somebody up mining here, but it's another player. You'll notice that the smith is there as well. They stand outside all the low-level instances. I love that. Right, it's Tide Whisper. Have your stuff back. God bless you, you found them. Oh, my beauties, I thought I'd lost you forever. Mining's all I've ever done. It's all I know. With Copperbell, what it is now, it's time to move on elsewhere, but without my tools, I just couldn't. Can't thank you enough, friend. You've done more for me than you could ever know. That's fine. You're going to give us some gloves. Hopefully. Yeah, they are a... Oh, they don't match, though. Ah, did you fare, friend? Did you find the raw Nasher site? Certainly did. It's a lovely green colour. Beautiful, isn't it? Rarer than many stones and more expensive than most. They say the green is the same eyes of Nanasha ul Nasher, who once ruled as the Sultana, even. This should save Dad and him for his troubles, if there's enough left. It's far lesser than what I found. I reckon those goblins made a meal of the stuff. Bloody waste. Drunken Stag wishes to repay your kindness with some useful information. You'd like a chance to make some money, right? Then I know just how I can repay you for your kindness. Swarms of sun midges have been harassing travellers along the road connecting Horizon to here. It's gotten so bad the brass blades have started paying folks to keep the roads clear. If you find it hard to believe that swarms of tiny midges could be so troublesome, then you've never seen a chocobo driven into a frenzy by one. There have already been some terrible accidents. Do your part and slay a few swarms. After that, let Ffxiv know. He'll reward you for your trouble and maybe even offer you more work. Yeah. Somebody killed it. There's quite a few people out here now. There's also some random level 50 guys. Our lack of a higher level weapon is starting to show, I think, a little bit. Ooh. Hello, Mr. Red Mage. Or Miss Red Mage. Miss Red Mage. Oh no! Clang. You do get credit for that. I've just remembered that I've got another roll action. We've got Low Blow, which is a stun, and will be of use until we get Shield Bash a little bit later. Yeah, Shield Bash actually does damage as well, whereas Low Blow is just a stun on a cooldown. It doesn't do a lot, but it does a little. Ffxiv. Greetings and salutations, adventurer. To what do I owe this? What? You've slain how many swarms of sun midges? You have my sincerest thanks. The brass blades have been struggling to keep them in check, so your assistance is greatly appreciated. Will you be staying in Horizon long? If so, there is much and more you can do to help here. Ah, right, okay, we need to go and do the class quest now, because we get shield lob from it. Right, we will go and do that first. We can come back here quickly enough. There are actually quite a few class quests that we haven't done. This is the level, what, 3-1? 5-1. First Sword Milo wishes to teach you the fundamentals of the gladiatorial arts. Ah, Demajen! I take it you and your sword have become better acquainted? And I will now instruct you on another fundamental aspect of what it means to be a gladiator, commanding an opponent's attention. As gladiators, we are trained to engage enemies at close range, weathering their attacks as we deliver our own. However, there are times when we must do battle alongside allies whose talents are not the same as our own. In such a situation, your role is not to slay the enemy in front of you, but rather to defend the man beside you. We do this by eliciting the enmity of our opponents through attacks and techniques designed to incite their hatred. You must learn to draw the enemy's attention to yourself and to trust in your stout constitution to endure. In doing so, you protect your weaker comrades who would otherwise perish. To help you better understand this, there is a task I would have you perform. It just so happens that Momodi of the Quicksand has requested our assistance. A gang of Leminson marauders have paraded into town and begun harassing people outside her establishment. Men like these prey on the weak, but will turn tail and flee at the first sign of defiance. You need not resort to violence. It will suffice to show them that you are not afraid of them, and will not tolerate their behaviour. Seek out the Leminsons and make your presence known by bellowing, "Face me, marauder!" In this way you will protect the people of Uldar, as you would your allies in battle. I think it used to be that you got flash for completing this quest. Obviously that is no longer the case, we already have it. Level 70 Samurai. Level 69 Dark Knight. Okay, so we need to go over here. There are a few quests in the game that require you to target an NPC and then emote at them. Hills is your problem. Maybe she likes the men rough. What are you supposed to be, a bleeding lady in waiting? Bah, don't matter, you're gonna spoil the mood. These guys are pestering people. You know your friend is a 12 damn cheat. Think he can charge us more because we're foreigners? Well, look at his own back, mark me words. Menacing border. What? You're blaming me because this little shite shot his own pants? Well, bugger him and bugger you too. Where's the last one? Over there. Ironically, keen-eyed marauder. You got a lot on earth thinking you could talk to me like that. Oops, I need to. Oi! Come on now, he was disrespecting my proud Seawolf heritage. Pfft. Fine, I'll leave the bastard be, but we ain't finished. Face me. You wanna fight? Just who the hells do you think you're speaking to, maggot? I'm Ffxiv, the Driven. And me and my bloody marauders have been weaving so long with to scare the children with tales about us. Don't believe me words. They'll let me axe do the talking. Oh, this is lively even for the quicksand. You two going to put on a show for us? What's this? Another goddamn fool? Show some respect when you talk to Ffxiv the Driven, leader of a troop of bloody mummers or some such. I heard you the first time. Your voice carries quite well. Unless you want me to split your skull with me axe, you better. That sword, it couldn't be Frenzy. But only the sword in Howard. Bloody hell's it's you. You know, I've never been one to stand back and watch. Mind if I join the fun? But begging your pardon, sir. Why do they always do that? Looks like it's just you and me. Standing up to that Leminson was quite brave of you, and quite foolish. I think I like you, gladiator. Name's Aldis. I'd buy you a drink, but I'm afraid I just spent the last of my coin. I used to be a young gladiator like you. Back then but that hardly concerns you. These days I'm just an explorer with the unexplored, a seeker of as yet unknown experiences. Like that beautiful stranger keeping my bed warm right now. Gods, I've missed this city. This wonderful desert jewel of debauchery and sin. Now if you'll excuse me. Beep beep. I swear, if I hadn't seen Aldous with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed it was him. Everyone here thought he died years ago. Listen, Demajen, do me a favour and don't tell Milo about meeting Aldous, alright? She doesn't need this sort of drama. Why? Well, let's just say some folks ain't good for one another. Ain't that the truth? Hoot. Back to the Gladiators Guild. I've already heard of your exploits at the Quicksand, Demajen. You did well to send those marauders packing. I wish I could say we've heard the last of them. Alas, we've received reports of axe-wielding raiders assaulting merchants travelling through Scorpion Crossing. It seems words will not suffice after all. I want you to finish what you've begun, Demajen. Head to Western Thanalan and see that Ffxiv the Driven and all those who had shared in his crimes never trouble the people of Uldar again. Oops. Right, this time we're going to walk out of the gates and stop off and kill some of those hunt mobs as we go. Ooh, I can also do basic training. Those lines that ever so briefly show up between enemies is aggro lines. They show if mobs are linked together. Like those two over there. If you pull one, you'll pull both of them. Obviously these are much better to do at a lower level. They tore me from my saddle and took everything I own. Bring my goods back to me, I beg of you. Is there an actual... Just wondering if there was an actual weaponsmith. No. We have kind of out-leveled the content in this zone, unfortunately. Let's pick up these sacks. Alright, so we can take those back to the merchant. When you are, I think it's 10 levels usually, above the level of an enemy, it will no longer aggro you, even if it is normally aggressive. So I'd need to be like level 16 for level 5 things to stop aggroing and so forth. Which is nice, because it means you can run through lower level zones. Right, take these back to the merchant. Oh yeah, that's just a repetition. "12, bless you, adventurer. If it weren't for good women like you, I'd never leave home." Oh, I. No. Back we go. Okay, so we'll take this back to Myla. Oops, I keep targeting the pet on my shoulder. Good, it is finished, and with that, this stage of your training is complete. This time, your enemies were ill-behaved ruffians, but who knows what manner of opponents you will face in the future. Regardless, I have faith that you will do well. Master your sword, and you shall master yourself. Now then, there will be work for you in the days to come. Return to your training, Demajen. We will speak again. It is generally worth doing things at the appropriate level. For example, this gives us some upgrades. First Sword Milo requires your immediate assistance with a dangerous matter. You look well, Demajen. I hope you are ready for your next task, because I require your immediate assistance. There have been several violent murders recently, the victims of which were all Hiren men. Based on the multiple spear wounds found upon the bodies of the deceased, we believe that Lancers are responsible for the crimes. Not only are these murders a blight upon a town, I fear it's only a matter of time before one of our own is targeted. I've just received reports of foreign Lancers skulking about in Stone's Throw. Considering the circumstance, I find it likely that these are our culprits. We cannot abide any more murders. Go to Stone's Throw, outside the Galterthal, and speak with any you find in the area. With luck, we may find these Lancers before they strike again. Right, I've missed an Aetheroid somewhere. Oh, I've missed the ones upstairs. That's why. I can't remember how to get upstairs. Oh, there's some steps somewhere. Yes, once you've got all the Ethernet shards in an area, it will allow you to port straight to the gates, which is very handy. Yes, there we are. I've missed two up here. Look at this one first. This is the Chamber of Rule. We'll be coming back here plenty. No. Right, this should be all of them, I think. Yes, you've attuned yourself to all the Ethernet shards in Uldar. The Gate of Nal, the Gate of Thal, the Gate of the Sultan, and the airship landing are now accessible as... Oh, and the airship landing are now accessible as Ethernet digital destinations. That's new. Right, that's where we want to be going. My internet connection is being a bit spoony. This is Stone's Throw, so named because, surprise, surprise, it is a stone's throw from the walls. There are a variety of reasons why you might come here, including the samurai job quests. Gutless gladiator, please don't kill me, please. I'm not the one you want. Uh-oh. Some dudes. What? I am afraid of you. Thank you. They appeared out of nowhere, asked me if I was Aldous at Spear Point. I said no, but they attacked me anyway. What did I do to deserve this? So they are after Aldous, the fancy man that saved us earlier. There's also some enemies to kill over in the clutch, but that's all the way over there. So we'll go and do those afterwards, because the main story will take us over there in a bit. Beautiful. Nice eye patch. Gladiator skeleton. So yes, it's definitely worth trying to do the job quests on the level. I'd forgotten that they give you equipment, to be honest. Show off. So, they were indeed the murderers we sought. But what brought Duskrite freelancers all the way from the Black Shroud? And why were they murdering Highland men with swords? First sword! What is this? Lancers, first sword. A gang of them, hiding in the tunnel south of Blackbush Station. Seems we're not rid of them yet, Demajen. You might as well finish what you started. Go to Central Thanalan and dispatch the last of these freelancers. Bruce, accompany Demajen. See that she doesn't die. Well, I can't keep the lasser from getting skewered, but I'll patch her up as best I can. Demajen, defend Bruce. He knows powerful healing magics, but he cannot employ them until you keep all your enemies occupied. Do not forget to use your flash technique. I am counting on you to keep those bastards away from me. Watch my back, and I'll watch yours. Nod. You have your orders, gladiators. Send these freelancers to the 7th gates. I should probably have picked up the Aetherite tickets. Not that way. This tunnel up here. Remember I said that we'd be coming back here? I was not lying. Hello, giant tortoise. I could kill you now. I'm not going to. That would be mean, but I could. Bruce the Big. Come on then, Bruce the Big. This is another little instance thing. Oh, and we're going to be synced down to level 14. Right, so we need all the attention. Ideally, we want them all facing away from Bruce. Obviously, if you've chosen a different class or you started in a different city, this section of the game will be different. All the way up to level 15. 15 in terms of the story quest, that is, not in terms of just the level. Always worth using some foods at the lower levels. Well, not all levels, to be honest, when you're levelling up. Mostly when you're in dungeons, but... anymore. Oh, it looks like someone's pissed in his peas porridge. Peas porridge is a very old-fashioned porridge dish. Not made with peas, I don't believe. Different kind of peas. Is that the lot? Yes. Oh dear. Right. Looks like we're done here. Let's head home, Demajen. I could use a drink. Yeah, me too. Congratulations on the job well done, Demajen. Bruce says you acquitted yourself well. You've shown tremendous growth since you joined us, and though it pains me to do this, you've earned the right. Demajen, I grant you leave to join other guilds. Up until this point, you can't go and join other guilds. You have to get the level 10 quest done first. As you doubtless know, Ulder is home to both the Pugilist Guild and the Thaumaturgist Guild. However, there are also guilds where you may learn something of a more peaceful traditions. You may even join the guilds of other nations, if that is your desire. Know that I will respect your decisions, whatever they may be, so long as you do not forget that you are, above all, a gladiator. So we've now got access to the armory system. We can go to other guilds and talk to their receptionists to open up other guilds. Before you head off, I want to ask you, Bruce believes the freelancers were out for a bounty. What is your opinion on this? The motives died with them, because we've been told not to talk about Aldous yet. I see. Perhaps it's best that we put this sordid affair behind us. Still, cannot help but wonder. I think we've got all of these now, haven't we? Hemp embraces. I'm going to have the hemp embraces because they match, just about. Okay, we've now unlocked gear sets, etc., etc. Unfortunately, because I've copied stuff over, I've actually got all my gear sets already set up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete set, delete set, delete set, delete set, delete set. So you start off with a set number, and then you can create new ones. I keep mine over on the left there, so I can swap between things as I want, and all I need to do is click on that and it will load up my current set. Why does it want me to equip that particular set of braces? That's a really weird thing. Right, what we actually came here for though was level 15 and shield lob, that old familiar feeling. First Admirer wishes to assign you another task. Hail, Demajen, you come at for a good time. I have another task I wish to assign you. The immortal flames and the brass blades have both requested the guild's assistance in maintaining security at Camp Drybone, a vital outpost along the Royal Allegan Sunway. The Demajen have been raiding caravans with reckless abandon, creating a significant disruption in trade. Uldar has a long, troubled history with the Demajen, so raids are not unheard of. However, this recent escalation must be addressed. Go to Camp Drybone and search for these raiders, Demajen. I've already dispatched the gladiators to patrol the region, so I suggest you speak with one for more information. Now, we can't actually teleport there because we've not been there yet. Keep going to use my mount. Don't have a mount. Right, while we're heading this way... I'm heading the right way, yes. I need to look out for these things here. Antling soldiers. Got new swords, so things are going to be dying a little bit quicker. Pew pew. And also, we need to kill Quick-Run Shell Sweepers. Achievement unlocked: to crush your enemies. Defeat 100 enemies. Now up here, if I remember correctly, is not what I'm looking for. Blackbrush. Oh no, they're over there. Right, we'll go back and do those in a minute. So, we want to be going past that big-ass frog. But is somebody fighting the big-ass frog? Yes, they are. Let's go help them fight the big-ass frog. What? Stun has no effect. Wow, this guy's taking a pounding. Wait. Toxic toads. What you kind of don't want is to be fighting multiple enemies at once, because that gets a little bit iffy. It's probably why this guy's got so few hit points, actually, because he's not taking much damage from the boss. Ugh. Ooh, my stun worked. Oh, I have acquired aggro. You can tell this because I've got the little red square on the list there. That's fine though. Ching. And he did. 6,440. Okay, so up here we go. You can tell that the amount of XP that you get for unlocking a new map is based on how much XP you need to level. There will be things for our hunting log in this zone, but we actually need to finish the previous, because it's in ranks. So we need to finish that one first. The previous rank. Right, attune to the Aetheryte. Oops, almost cancelled that. Right. I'm going to go over there. Can I access? No. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Injured gladiator. Get down! They're still here. You feel a rush of air as an arrow whistles by your head. You'll find that a lot of the NPC or enemies in the game use abilities that are of a different class to what you'd assume them to be. For example, Devastate is a monk ability. Whereas these are very clearly not monks. The bow and arrows tend to be a bit of a giveaway for that one. They can also, of course, use abilities that we have no access to whatsoever. Don't worry, sister, I'll be fine. Though maybe not when the first tour's done with me, eh? Go and tell her that the Amalja are dead. Leave the merchant to me. Right. I'm going to go to Blackbrush. I'm going to pick up those Aetheryte tickets, because I do like to teleport around a reasonable amount, and with those tickets it won't cost me gil. I'd forgotten actually how expensive things can be when you're starting off in this game. Why did I not delete those? Right. Use these while we're here. So these tickets will be used as and when needed. Right, while we are here, we're going to go and kill the shell sweepers, which are up here. Ooh, as is Ffxiv, who is one of those level 50 hunt mobs, which we shall talk about when we get there. I make liberal use of low blow. Although it doesn't do any damage, it is a decent preventative measure. Right, where were these other? Dusty mongrels, Horizon's Edge. Yes. Let's go check that out. We must have ran past them. Colour your world. That's the dye quest that allows you to dye your gear. Dusty mongrels, dusty mongrels. Oh yes, they're over here. Sewer Super still there? Yes, I believe they're up in this corner. Yeah, there they are. Creepy ass dogs who've got a healing bite. If it hits you, it heals them. Try not to get hit by it. Yeah, figured that would happen. Whatever. Ooh, that was a level up. Action learned. Provoke. Provoke is a roll action, which you can put in a bars. Right, let's go back to there first of all. Let's hand this quest in. We've also unlocked rank 2 of the hunting log. Where am I going? Gladiator skill. So we've got more things to kill in similar zones, but of a higher level, which is good. That way. Right, you'll notice this is not the end of the quest. Sadly. I knew I was right to send you Demajen. You've done us proud. 7 hells. Oh, that's somebody else. 7 hells! This place reeks of sweat. How do you expect a man to concentrate on his swordplay like this? Aldous. You remember me! How goes it, brother? Still waving your sword around like a feather duster? You. Good to see you too, Milo, my dear. You're more beautiful than I remember. You're alive! Where have you been all these years? Answer me. Me? Well, if you must know, I'm on a spiritual journey of self-discovery. Damn it, Alice, this is serious. We all thought you were dead. For you to walk in here as though nothing ever happened? Have you forgotten how you dishonoured us? I should cut you down where you stand. Ho, that's the Milo I remember, all fire and brimstone. I knew that pretty face could still contort itself into some terrifying shapes. Sulk. Don't pout, girl, I'm just having fun, but as you wish, I'll go. Demajen, was it? Why don't you join me at the quicksand? I could use some company, and I doubt anyone else here would be so kind. So there is history. Do. There's also a little instance battle. That old familiar feeling. If your level is above 19, it will be synced. Oh, you came. So you had to witness that little reunion between me and Milo? The sword of Nald, back from the dead. You'd think I'd be greeted by throngs of adoring fans, not threats of violence. Listen, Demajen, you're good with a sword, that's plain to see. But more than that, you've got purpose. There's a fire burning within you. As a former man of conviction, I can recognise a kindred spirit. That low res. Geralt named her Frenzy. She's one of a magnificent pair of swords that the drunken prodigy forged for Colosseum champions. The man who wielded a twin had eyes that burned like yours. Demajen, The hells? Aldous, Sword of Nald, we have come for your head. If you do that, then how the hell am I supposed to enjoy my ale? Arrogant fool! Prepare to meet your maker. Well, ain't you a bunch of impatient, humorless fellows? Up for a bit of fun, Demajen. I'll lead, you follow. Kill all the people. It's easier to kill off the ones that he targets. Although it does seem to change randomly. Not entirely sure why. I suppose technically he's building threat on multiple enemies. Oh, I get to kill these tiny ones. level 15 quest and all. He goes to go and kill the level 20 stuff. Kill off this guy. I think another wave shows up. I can't remember. Yes, there we go. Ooh, jeez. Right. It is generally wise to kill off anybody like the archers first, the higher damage. The lancers obviously do a chunk of damage, but generally only if you're stood in their AoE. So you'll want to stay out of that as often as possible. Gives you plenty of time to move. There we go. Duty complete. Didn't think it'd go so far as to send a gang of sellswords into the quicksand in broad daylight. Why is it never a bevy of beauties? Let's continue this another time, shall we? I need to find a new place to drink. One with more attractive company than this sorry lot. Well, well, this is the smith. The mantle of adventurer does not drape so awkwardly from your shoulders as it once did. But while questing alone certainly brings its own rewards, you haven't truly adventured until you've delved into some darkened dungeon, stalwart comrades at your side. Ancient ruins, echoing caverns, and all manner of deadly places lie hidden across the realm. These are best conquered in the company of trustworthy allies. And such advice holds true for many a formidable foe that will crush a solitary adventurer. How one fights in a party, however, is often drastically different from how one fights alone. Thus did we construct the Hall of Novice, where we endeavour to prepare you for those differences. The hall can be found just north of Aleport in western Lenosha. Within its walls we offer burgeoning heroes a bevy of training exercises. Step into the flames, my friend, and forge the skills you shall need for the morrow. So we don't actually need to go to the Hall of Novice to complete those. We can do them from the menu, which is good. And I'm going to go and do that in a moment, because at the end of the quest chain we get some nice gear. In fact, at the end of 2 or 3 of the quests we get some nice gear, and more importantly, in the final one, we get a ring that is useful all the way up to level 30 for, again, increasing our experience gains, which we want to do as much of as possible. But first, let's get this skill. My apologies, Demajen. I meant to teach you a new technique earlier, but when that idiot arrived, I completely forgot. He's just so infuriating. The shield lob technique will allow you to attack from afar without the need for ranged weaponry. Since we gladiators are primarily close combat fighters, the ability to draw the attention of distant enemies is a valuable asset. May it serve you well in the field, Demajen. Doesn't actually matter which of these that we choose, so I'm going to choose the gill, because we're going to get some new gear for the quests, and that keeps us until level 20. Action learned. Shield Lob. There aren't many actions in the game that are gated behind class quests, but there are a few. As you can see, level 20 stuff is next. Okay. Shield Lob's automatically on a bars. Excuse me, let's put that on. And let's show you the Hall of Novice. Right. These are solo. So you don't need to party up for these or anything like that. It just joins you in. Listen up, novice. Right, annoyingly these are timed. I'm not going to do the voiceovers for these. So this one is about standing and positioning, basically getting out the way of AoEs. I generally advise anybody that is new to the game, or MMOs in general, to do these as soon as they are available, because they're good for picking up the basics. And yeah, all we need to do for this one is to avoid the AoEs, which is pretty easy. Hi! That is some lovely pastel blue armour you've got there. So, watch your opponent carefully. When you see the attack coming, get the hell out of the way. That's the way to do it. You'll notice that the attack animation goes off after the cast bar is done. So as long as the cast bar is no longer there, you can actually stand where he was and it won't hit you. It's only if you're in the way when it finishes. So as soon as it disappears, you're free to move back into position. Now you get to face both of them. You don't need to actually kill them. There we go. That's the first one done. Ba, 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 ba. Outstanding. Teaching me lessons will earn you a piece of armour. So this gets us some level 15 gloves, which look really cool actually. If I remember correctly, the this particular gear set looks spanking new. Okay. Nope, not that. All of the Novice. Number 2. How to use the enmity combos. So this is all about... they're separated out into roles. So the tank ones teach you the basics of tanking. The DPS ones teach you the basics of positions and DPS. And it is tailored to the particular class that you are on. So, for example, the Marauder version of this is different to the Gladiator version. They change the names of the skills, etc., etc. So yeah, depending on if what kind of DPS you are, that changes slightly, and so on and so forth. Enmity is a measure of how badly a foe wants to kill you. Enmity and how to build it. Best way to establish yourself as a threat: string together some nasty combinations. So yeah, there's 3 different versions of this. One for DPS, one for healers, one for tanks. There you go. So it shows you that we, as a gladiator, want to do fast blade, followed by savage blade. And I spoke about the combo bonuses earlier. Show me a solid series of blows, and we'll be sorted. So this actually makes you spend the time to read it. You can't click through this. You actually have to wait. I mean, I suppose you could look away from the screen, as I tend to, because it's not like I really need this as a somewhat experienced tank. Hit that wooden warrior with your combination. Yeah, if you screw the order up here, then you really aren't very smart. Yeah, so as long as the little square there, the little icon next to the individual targets is red, then you're doing your job. And those targets are on you. See, nice and simple. If it's green, then it's focused on somebody else. If it's a yellow triangle pointing upwards, then you are gaining enmity on it, but you haven't got its full attention yet. And if it's an orange triangle pointing down, you are losing enmity. Yeah, you don't get a reward for that one, but you do get XP and gil. Execute a combo in battle, so this time we've actually got to go and do it in proper combat. Yeah, as you can see, you can't click through this, so you have to wait for it to go. Yes, I am ready to begin. In we go. So if I remember, in this one we've got an NPC. No. Oh yeah, we got to hit this guy without letting him die. There we go. And generally speaking, it's a good idea to pull them away from the squishies. No, they can't be stunned. There we go. So as you can see, it is just for the basics of how to do your job, or know your role. Get some shoes for that. Yeah, there are better ways of doing it than enmity combos, to be honest. But again, as the basics, it is important for some people. Right, this one's for multiple targets. This is going to teach us how to use flash as a gladiator, or overpower as a marauder. Do 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 do. Yep. Right. So we need to get all three in range. Flash has got a reasonable range. As you can see. So this is basically about how to position to get everybody within the radius. It also teaches you about the extent of your range. That is about as far as Flash extends. Again, no reward for this one, although we're up to level 17 already. Keep on going. You can access these whenever you want. You can go back and refresh yourself. This one's very similar, except that there are actual moving about opponents. So you've got to judge range carefully. You've also got to take into account stuff like server lag. And we've also got to kill people at the same time. So this is our friend. We want to stop these guys hitting him. Yeah, so initially you want to be getting hate on all targets. Then we can start using combos. Obviously we're taking a lot of damage here, and healing generates enmity as well. Right, I should have enough throw on people anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the squishy black mage first of all. Get him out of the way, him or her. Then focus on the melee damage dealer. And then we can finally focus on the tank. You'll notice we are synced down to level 15 for this. There we go. Nice and straightforward, and a pretty decent introduction to how the first 2 or 3 dungeons will go. This should give us a piece of loot. Yeah, this gives us the trousers. And the last one will give us the chest piece. Execute a ranged attack. So this teaches us about pulling. And you can't do this, I think, until... Well, you can't do these until level 15 anyway. But you need shield lob for this. I don't think it'll let us do it otherwise. Yes, so this is how to establish enmity with a ranged attack. Stroll into a pack of foes and you're asking to get swarmed. That's what we call body pulling. Yeah, so rather than trying to pull everything in the room, we can pick out targets and pull them one at a time, which is useful for not getting yourself murderized, because being murderized is not pleasant. So you can see we've got quite a few enemies there. We don't want to kill them all at once. So from... can't remember how these... there we go. Dodos are some of the more annoying early game enemies because they can put you to sleep or do a variety of nasty things to you. I was going to say, Mr. Conjurer, are you going to heal me? Come to me. Obviously this does not work for enemies with ranged attacks because they will attack you from range. You can also, over on the left here, see in your party the actual order that you've got a threat on. So if you are the one holding the threat, then you'll have an A, and then it will list from 1 through 7 or 1 through 8. 1 through 4 rather. You know, who's got the main threat. It doesn't work in this thing because this guy is not technically a member of the party. Because NPCs work slightly differently. There we go. So nice and straightforward introduction to how pulling works. Yeah, don't do a Leroy Jenkins basically. Right, we're getting towards the end of these. I can't remember exactly how many there are. This one is about grabbing control of enemies that join the battle late, which is something that happens in a few dungeons, including the first one. Sometimes there are latecomers to a battle, so you've got to stay alert. If you notice a new foe arrive, don't go into panic, keep calm and pick the enemy up with your usual tools, so flash or shield lob or tomahawk or overpower, or of course use your aggro combos. But yeah, basically, use your brain and the tools that you've got in order to achieve victory. That's all there is to tanking, and yet a lot of people are really nervous about taking a tank as their class of choice. It is very limited. People feel it's very limited. They want to do the big numbers, basically. Right, so this guy is our primary concern, but he will bring in ads during the fight. And our primary concern pull that guy over here. Stick Rampart on for a little bit of extra defense. Oop. Not entirely sure if it's actually possible to fail these, but you never know. Some enemies will do that. They will continue on to their initial target before they come back to you, which is a little bit annoying. And some enemies will, despite you having your red aggro block, they will target other party members. So you've just got to watch out for those, because chances are it's not that the UI is messed up, it's that they are deliberately doing an attack that focuses elsewhere. But generally speaking, you want all the red dots all the time. Right, this gives us the crevice. Which again looks really cool. Love that look. Right, this is the final exercise. They're all level 15. This one takes us over to Lenosha, which is the first time we'll have seen it on this character. We've also got dramatic music. You'll notice that we've actually got his armour on, but we don't get his eye patch, which is a little bit sad. So we need to defeat several mobs here. This is Lenosha, this is Aleport, and the actual Hall of the Novice is there, which is why we're over here. Breathe deep, remember your lessons. I am indeed prepared to start. I'm going to start off with a single dodo. Keep your foe away from allies. And watch your positioning. So those two will attack from range. It's our job to face enemies, especially enemies with attacks like that, away. Away from our enemies, because we don't want from our allies rather, because we don't want them getting hits. Arguably the game wants you to actually use flash and stuff at close range, but because they buffed enmity generation again in 4.0, you only really need to hit them with like a Savage Blade once or something, and the chances of you losing enmity are very slim. Right, these guys. Now we do want to grab their attention. Right, this is to show you that there's a surprising amount of moving about involved in being a half-decent tank. So you want to be ducking and dodging and weaving, basically making your life for your healer as easy as possible. Clank. And finally, a Goobu. Again, he's got an AoE cone attack, so you don't want to be facing that towards your friends. He's also immune to blind. He's also got an AoE, quite a large AoE again. If you've got melee friends in your dungeon, it is basically their responsibility to make sure that they get out of that. There's nothing that you can do. You could target anywhere. Some enemies will even ignore who has threat on them and just target whoever they want. They might deliberately target the person with the second highest threat, for example. It depends how the fight mechanic is programmed. You can also stun abilities like that. They normally give you enough time, but some abilities can't be stunned. And enemies build up resistance to stuff. But there we go. That is the end of the Hall of the Novice. Congratulations! And this gives us the brand new ring, which increases XP earned by 30% when level 30 and below. It also gives us quite a nice chunk of stats. This is obviously a major piece of equipment for low level leveling. And will seriously increase the amount of XP we earn. Where am I going? So, we are now considerably higher level than we would be at this position normally. If it weren't for this Road to 60 buff, because this quest is level 11, so we're 6 levels higher than we really need to be. But that is all for today. I've got some other stuff that I want to do. It is 7 minutes past 10. That is 4.5 hours, I think, total of the initial A Realm Reborn experience. I'm actually going to... That's a really nice outfit. Where's the minion guide? I'm going to resummon a Nanamo. Because I like having a riding around on my shoulder. If you / beckon at her, it will make her climb up. Which is super cool. And there we go, in this delightful sunshine. We'll say goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.